Okay, let's get right into it. Today's deep dive takes us into Jeremiah chapter 39, a really intense piece of history.
Absolutely. It's the fall of Jerusalem to the Babylonians. A huge moment. Dramatic, pivotal. Everything changes here.
Yeah, so think about it. You've got this city besieged for years. It's finally collapsing. The king's trying to make a run for it.
The whole kingdom's fate hanging in the balance.
Exactly. So stick with us as we unpack what happens, because there are some key events, but also some maybe surprising details in here about who makes it and who doesn't. So the text lays out the timeline pretty clearly. The siege starts in King Zedekiah's 9th year.
Right, but it takes until his 11th year, so 2 years later, for the city wall to actually be breached. That's a long siege.
A very long time. And then the moment they break through.
Well, the Babylonian commanders, these high-ranking officials, they march straight in and take seats in the middle gate.
Wow. Like planting a flag, isn't it? A real symbolic act of, we've won.
Definitely. It's a clear statement of conquest. We own this city now.
So Zedekiah sees this, obviously knows it's over, and tries to escape.
Under cover of darkness.
Yeah, at night. Him and his remaining soldiers, they slip out through the king's garden area, apparently through a specific gate between two walls.
Trying to head towards the Araba, that sort of desert valley, hoping to disappear, maybe?
Exactly, trying to get away. But it doesn't work out.
No.
No, the Babylonian army is right on their tail. They pursue them, catch up with them out on the plains of Jericho.
Ah, Jericho. So they capture Zedekiah there.
To capture the king, yeah, and haul him all the way north to Nebuchadnezzar, who's set up camp at Riblah.
And Riblah.
Yeah.
That's where the judgment comes down. And it's incredibly harsh.
It really is. First, Nebuchadnezzar has Zedekiah's sons slaughtered right in front of him.
Oh, unimaginable. And then,
Then they execute all the captured nobles of Judah as well.
so total dismantling of the leadership. And for Zedekiah himself,
The final punishment.
mm,
His eyes are put out,
blinded.
blinded, bound in bronze chains, and then carted off to Babylon. Just a horrifying, awful end for the king. And back in Jerusalem, the city itself.
Total destruction, pretty much.
Yeah.
They burned the royal palace, burned the houses of the people.
Set fire to everything.
Yeah, and broke down the city walls. What was left of them after the breach just leveled the place.
So destruction and then exile for most people.
That's right. Nebuzaradan, the commander of the guard, he oversees the deportation. Most of the survivors are rounded up and carried off into exile in Babylon.
But hang on, wasn't there that little detail about some people being left behind?
Ah, yes. Good point. The text specifically mentions that Nebuzaradan left some of the very poorest people, those who owned literally nothing.
And they weren't just left, were they?
No, incredibly, they were actually given vineyards and fields,
Hmm.
maybe to keep some basic agriculture going. It's a really unexpected twist for that specific group. Okay, so after painting this picture of, total national disaster, the narrative then zooms in. It focuses on the fates of specific individuals, which is quite striking.
Right, like Jeremiah the prophet. Nebuchadnezzar himself gave orders about him.
Explicit orders, yes. Sent via Nebuzaradan, basically. Find him, look after him.
Don't harm him. Do whatever he asks. That's amazing protection, considering the circumstances.
It really is. So Jeremiah, who'd been imprisoned in the courtyard of the guard, he's taken out and handed over to this guy, Gedaliah, son of Ahikam.
And just allowed to go home, live among the people who are left.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Spared completely. It's a stark contrast.
And he wasn't the only one singled out, was he? There was someone else.
Ebed-Melech the Cushite, yes. While Jeremiah was still locked up, the text says the word of the Lord came to him specifically about Ebed-Melech.
And what was the message for him?
A promise of rescue. Really direct. I will rescue you on that day, God says through Jeremiah. You will not be handed over to those you fear.
Wow. So safety guaranteed.
Guaranteed. I will save you. You will not fall by the sword, but will escape with your life. Total protection.
And did it say why? Why Ebed-Melech gets this promise?
It does. And it's incredibly simple. It just boils down to, because you trust in me. That's the reason given, trust. So when you put it all together, this devastating national judgment on one hand, and then these very specific stories of individual rescue on the other. What does Jeremiah 39 really show us?
Well, it's not just one story, is it? It's showing how this massive event, the fall of the city, was experienced in drastically different ways.
Exactly. You have the brutal end for the king and the nation, the destruction, the exile. That's the big picture. But then the focus deliberately shifts.
To these individuals, Jeremiah and Ebed-Melech, who are explicitly protected, it makes you really consider the contrast.
Right. It highlights that divine will and maybe personal factors like trust could lead to completely different outcomes even within the same catastrophe. The experience wasn't uniform at all.
You have to wonder, why did the writers make sure to include those stories right alongside the burning city and the blinded king? What's the message there about, well, about judgment and salvation?
So, to sum up our deep dive, we've seen the final, awful moments of Jerusalem's fall, the tragic fate of King Zedekiah, the mass exile,
But also the, well, unexpected safety granted to Jeremiah and then to Ebed-Melech.
two individuals preserved amidst the chaos.
Which leaves us with this thought to consider. In a story so focused on widespread destruction and failure, why does this account take such care to detail the survival of these specific people, linking it directly to divine action and trust? What is that particular narrative choice trying to tell you, the listener, about what truly matters?